Okay, let's talk about the markets. Every single day, it feels like we're standing in a hurricane of information, right? You've got news headlines, endless data streams, and a million different opinions all screaming for your attention. So the real question is, how on earth do you find the actual, usable signal in all of that noise? So, let's just jump right into a classic dilemma. Imagine you see this headline flash across your screen. A CEO cashing out $4 million of their own company's stock. What do? I mean, does your stomach drop? Is this the ultimate insider telling you to get out now? Or is it just another Tuesday for them? Maybe buying a house or diversifying? Well, the answer completely depends on who you are and how you're wired to see the market.
And that really gets to the heart of the problem for every single one of us. We are absolutely drowning in information. Every SEC filing, every analyst report, heck, every single tweet tells a story. But when there are millions of stories all happening at once, which one are you supposed to believe?
Now, I know what you're thinking. When you hear insider trading, you're probably picturing handcuffs and courtroom dramas. But what we're talking about here is the totally legal kind. See, executives and big shareholders have to report their trades publicly on what's called a Form 4. And this creates this incredible publicly available stream of data, a potential gold mine of signals for those who know how to read them. So first up, let's meet our first investor archetype. This is the veteran. Think of the seasoned pro who's seen it all. They're not interested in the daily gossip or the market chatter. No, they're playing the long game. They're trying to see the whole forest, not just one little leaf falling from a tree. This quote, it's their entire philosophy boiled down. It's all about patience and strategy. They couldn't care less what a stock does this week or even this year. They're building a portfolio designed to grow over decades, thinking about huge economic shifts and the deep underlying value of a business. Okay, let's look at a real-world example. Here we see Berkshire Hathaway selling a tiny little sliver of their stake in DaVita. Now, a veteran investor sees this and doesn't even blink. Why? Because they know this isn't some panic sell based on a bad news day. It's a calculated, almost insignificant adjustment in a portfolio that's worth hundreds of billions of dollars. So, what's actually going on in their head? Well, it could be any number of things. Maybe they're just rebalancing the portfolio, or it could be a move to be more tax efficient. Maybe it's a super subtle, long-term shift in how they view the entire healthcare sector. The key thing is, a single sale is just one move in a multi-year chess game. It's not a fire alarm. All right, now let's completely flip the script. Let's meet our second archetype, the modern trader. This is the person who lives and breathes real-time data. They thrive on speed, on sentiment, on finding those short-term catalysts. For them, the noise is the signal. See, the modern trader isn't just looking at that one Berkshire sale. Nope, they're looking at a fire hose of data like this. They see executives from Atlassian, Coca-Cola, Nike, all selling around the same time, and their brain immediately kicks into high gear, hunting for a pattern, a shift in momentum that the rest of the market hasn't noticed yet. And that's their whole game. It's about speed and recognizing patterns. It's not about Coca-Cola's 10-year plan. It's about seeing a cluster of insider sales and wondering if there's a short-term trade to be made right now. It's about catching that wave just as it starts to form. And it gets even more interesting, because they don't just stop with the official filings. They take that insider data and they mash it up with other sources, like social media sentiment. They're looking at what's buzzing on Reddit or Twitter to see if the crowd is getting excited or scared about a stock. They're trying to build a 360-degree view of what's happening this very second. So there you have it. We've got two investors. One is looking at the market through a telescope, focused on the distant horizon. The other is using a microscope, examining what's happening right now, this very instant. So what happens when they both look at the exact same piece of news? Let's go back to that insider sale. For the veteran, it's a strategic chess move, probably planned months ago, and says nothing about the company's health. But for the modern trader, it's a poker tell. It's an immediate red flag, a sign of lost confidence, and maybe, just maybe, the perfect reason to make a short-term trade. It's the same data, but two completely different realities. Or what about big economic news like new tariffs? The veteran goes to the archives, analyzing what happened the last 3 times this occurred to adjust their 10-year forecast. The modern trader is glued to their screen, watching volatility spike in real time, scanning news feeds, and maybe even trading the currencies of the countries involved. The timescale is years versus minutes. And even something as huge as the rise of AI gets filtered through these completely different lenses. The veteran is asking, which company is building a fortress, a durable AI moat that will dominate for the next decade? The modern trader is asking, which semiconductor stock is a rocket ship of social media hype this week, and how can I trade that volatility?
So, who's right? The slow and steady veteran or the fast and furious trader? Well, the truth is it's the wrong question. It's not about who's right or wrong. They're simply playing two entirely different games on the exact same field.
But here's the fascinating part. For all their differences, look at where they overlap. They both start with the same public data. They're both trying to get an edge on everyone else, and they're both trying to do the exact same thing, turn raw, messy data into a clear, actionable insight.
And that, right there, is the big takeaway. The most important thing isn't just the information you have. It's the time scale you apply to that information. Are you thinking in terms of days or decades? Because that single choice will define your entire strategy, the tools you use, and how you react to every single headline.
So that leaves us with one final big question for you to think about. In a world that is just overflowing with data, where does the real advantage come from? Is it from decades of patience and wisdom, or is it from the lightning-fast reflexes that can react in microseconds? Which game are you playing? The answer to that will shape everything.